Hey, look at that, right on
Greg
time.
took
We
his
made it.
glasses off.
No, you were the one who was late. I don't want to hear it. I'm over here trying to do stuff.
We're
but
both late.
We're about as professional as it gets. There we go.
We're
How
not
about
professional
that?
at all. This is
No,
a stream we do for fun.
no, sir, not at all. Let's get that Instagram rolling. All right, there we go.
You can roll these nuggets. I saved it. I didn't say nuts.
All right, there we go.
Oh my god, I can barely hear you. That light up above the computer's so bright.
It did. I understand. You know, we're working on it. All right.
Wait. I can prove to people there's a light. Watch my reflection.
Every day. Every day a little something better. Okay, stop it. We're working on it. We're working on it. You want? Very nice. Thank you, Skits. Skits telling us we are number one.
Skit showing us
number
what a
one.
Flock of seagulls look like when they hit the window. But welcome back, everybody, to the End of Airsoft. I'm your co-host, Toucan.
Look at you. You remembered.
And this is a loser.
So and you remembered again.
Actually,
thank you. I appreciate
that. He just made me coffee. And he literally, get this. I'm on the way here.
Wait.
He comes out the door. I'm in the kitchen and go, oh no, I'm late for the stream, guys. I gotta go. This maniac takes a foot out the door and goes, Toucan, come on. Albeit, he's late too. The stream hasn't started. He wasn't late.
He was here waiting on you.
I was?
I was.
No, I was. And then you came in, and then I started the stream.
I'm not sure how that works at all.
It's called gaslighting, but anyways.
Is it?
No. But, no. What, yes, but the stream is taking place in the Dead and Outfitters Action Sports Center.
We're here.
Home of the D-Hob, home of the custom gun line, B-Day, BD, Beachy, and, of course, a Benetor. That's a proper...
is it? The B's or B's?
If you're doing non-palpal Latin, it's instead of Beaches, Biche.
Biche.
Yeah.
It's the Biche.
Yeah.
Like Pirate used to say.
Caesar is Kaiser.
Like Pirate used to say, the beaches.
He's like, I am in Miami. Bad word. Shout out to Pirate.
I miss him so much.
Yeah. He's too busy being literally famous.
I absolutely miss him.
Yeah, he rules. You rule. Yeah, home of the D-Hop, Dead and Outfitters Action Sports Center. Got a lot of fun stuff to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
For both here and far, adjacent topic, airsoft indoor. Who knew?
You don't say. You don't say.
Greg, it's your turn. Tag in. What?
Me?
Yeah, say something fun.
The
end, you're out. So no,
I'm gonna. I'll be over here. So, we have done quite a bit of work over the last week since our last stream.
Come check it out.
We're actually gonna be doing. We're going to be doing another walkthrough here in about a week. Just kind of give everybody an update. By then, we should have the shooting range will be completed. Yep, that's 165 foot, well lit, and there's going to be 3 cameras inside the shooting range. Actually,
3.
Yeah, the one to show the exit point, travel of the BB, and then the target. So you can actually watch everything as it happens. So you can track the flight path of the BB.
You know, it's so funny. We're going to talk about the range on the stream, long or the short, for an upcoming event we're going to have. Whoa!
Look at you with the segue. I didn't know you were capable of those. That's fantastic.
No, they banned them because they're dangerous and the batteries catch on fire.
That is, that's
we actually still have time. But yeah, a lot of changes have happened. And more to come.
Hey! Say his name and he shall be revealed. God bless you guys. Please, Pirate. We'd love to see you. Beaches. Love to see you. Love to have you come on by. You got to see what we're doing here. Miss you so much. Please come on by.
Dude, are you the new Pitbull? You're Mr. Worldwide.
I would be Pirate's Pitbull. I would do that for him. Absolutely.
I would be Pirate's maid. I like Pirate. you know, I'm way. You saw Pitbull built a bunch of different schools, and one of the schools he built in Miami has 100% graduation rate, and it's because of that it's a AAA school. Pitbull built it. That's so cool.
I mean,
everybody ripped on Pitbull, dude. He's such a good person. It's crazy. My guy's out here like Mr. Worldwide. Everyone's like, "Wow, dumb rapper," and then he's like, "I built a school."
He made millions and millions of dollars off a single phrase. Not really. He's a good producer, and but he did something good with his money. That's what's important.
Yeah.
There he is. Hope to see you soon. I love you, Beach. I I love you, Mr. Beaches.
So happy.
Thank you so much, Pirate. Thank you. You inspire us every time you come by. You lift spirits. If you guys don't fire him, the Pirate Lopez on Instagram, on Instagram, TikTok.
It's Instagram.
Yep.
Instagram is where I see the best
Yeah,
content from.
yeah,
him.
oh yeah. Well, he does a lot of live stuff on Instagram too,
Yeah.
which is his live stuff's amazing. You watch, he wakes up in the morning, he's like, he's rubbing sleep out of his eye. He walks over, grabs his macaw. He's talking to his baby. He goes into his room. He looks down at his drums. He goes, "Hang on one second," and he creates a song, like a whole song. Just creates a whole damn. He's like, "Okay," and I'm done now. 30 minutes later, he's created an
Papa's
album.
hair? Yeah, you think that's bad? I'm wearing sunglasses because I look like crap. And
wow.
you think his hair is bad?
It's okay. It's okay. The darkness is falling over you.
When I was in the first grade, I thought that I was gay. Macklemore.
It's not a phase, Mom. It's real.
Mom, it's not a
It's
phase.
a choice.
'Cause tonight'll be the night that I cry for you. No. Anyways.
And we're absolutely gonna clip that, just so you know.
Dude, I want to start clipping these. Clip that woman! Clip it!
And I'll turn the.
That was our.
noise.
Emma, come back. I didn't.
All right.
What?
What did you put in the bread?
Too much yeast. I basically had a Yingling.
Allow me to take his coffee away. We're gonna do that.
I am on 450
way too
milligrams of
Yeah,
caffeine.
you. I don't
No,
need any of that.
before this.
That's terrible. We don't need that. We don't need that from you.
350. I miscalculated.
Oh, there he is, Mr. Delmonico himself.
Oh,
I was
God.
talking with
Yes.
him. I'll talk to you after this about that. But need you guys to come on down. We're going to be shooting a promo in special lighting. Special lighting.
We have two of those.
Mr. Josh Delmonico from CQC. If you don't know who CQC is, close quarter carry. He makes the most amazing holsters on the planet. I am a close 80th to his quality.
It'd be really funny if he made a Kydex holster from my sawed-off M79 grenade launcher.
Don't act like he can't. He just needs a mold.
It's so
big. He needs to make a mold.
Really? He can make a really?
Why not? It's not like how I do. He doesn't have like these pre-mades and make shit fit. He actually makes the holsters. How
dare you tell how the wizard cast spells? What's your problem?
First of all, I'm not telling on anything. You have the book. You just read it.
Well,
look at that there.
Also, you didn't like YouTube. Oh, yeah. Let's bang some stuff out of the way here. Papa's hair.
Look about Justin. Hey. I appreciate that.
Hey, yeah.
I'll take that. I'm not gonna.
Greg is like, what was it at every Diddy party? Everybody that talks about it was an hour before it got weird, and then they went home. Just like, Trump went to Epstein's Island, but he said he only talked to the staff. He never, did the thing with the kids. Guys.
Very nice.
He stayed in the lobby and talked to the guys that swept the floor. Donald Trump, the guy that made his building gold.
All right. Are we're getting political? Is that what we're doing? No.
Diddy, baby powder. I mean, oil powder.
That's a whole nother kind of party right there.
Can you imagine? You wake up covered in powder like, Diddy got me. No.
You smell so fresh.
Dude, he would hit you with a green.
Mr. King, how are you, sir? Good to see you.
Let's get some stuff out of the way because I want to keep
see
the good times rolling.
Thank you for coming by. Hopefully, things are going well for you, my friend.
All right, gather around, children. It's time to speak of all the fun things coming up. We're starting this month in the local neighborhood. Actually, we're starting next month in the neighborhood. So, DEO is having a Independence Day weekend. What do I mean by that? It's going to start Friday. By closing the business. But how can the event start on a closed day? Well, the event is going to start with a 24-hour sale on select guns, up to 35% off, online sale only. So while we're away, the finances can play. Come check out our store online, surf the interweb on the 4th of July. 24-hour sale, again, select items up to 35% off. 24-hour sale only. Now, July 5th, well, do we have some plans for you? Or as Larry the Tomato would say on, Larry the Cucumber would say on VeggieTales, do we have a show for you? We are doing
Does that make me Bob? Am I Bob if you're
Bob the
Larry? I
Tomato.
am
I
Bob,
would
aren't
love,
you?
dude. I had the Larry
Right.
Boy action figure that had the plungers that shot out. I used them till he literally caught on fire as a little kid. So July 5th, come to the Dead and Outfitters Action Sports Center for our multifaceted Independence Day weekend event. Dress up in the most American loadout you can conjure to potentially win a prize, from free game days to gift cards.
Somebody's showing up with like 37 guns.
Somebody wants to dress up as a Confederate soldier, which I said you could, but you don't technically qualify as most American because you're on the losing side.
Right.
But you can anyways. Who gives a crap? Dress up, come hang out. The All American or the best American loadout. If you win, you'll win literally a gas blowback gun, the new EMG Angst that is out on the market. It chronos at a joule
So it
out
can be
the
used
box. It can
inside.
immediately
Yep,
be
be
used in
used
the
in the
arena.
indoor. Yep.
Comes with the folding crane stock, or sorry, the folding crane stock. Good lord, comes with a folding stock. It's a beautiful gun. I'm probably gonna scoop one up too soon. That's the first prize. So come, dress up, have a nice time. And speaking of dress up, you son of a sailor, go get that.
I even sent her a message.
We are also going to have the store dressed up. We're gonna have cup pong set up. We're going to have
I canceled it. I'm sorry.
cup pong set out for fun. We're going to have the cornhole set up. We're going to have the store dressed up in a all American dress. So be it. Dress the store all American. We're also going to have
Ooh, even
the
more?
all American shooting challenge in our new shooting range. It is going to be a timed challenge. If you complete the challenge, you will get a free game day. There's 3 categories of it. You can do each one. You can attempt each
Will
one
there be
once.
time ahead? Will there be some time for them before the event to test out their guns and range them out?
Well, shut up and I'll tell you.
Would you look at
No,
that?
actually, yeah. So you can only attempt the challenge once. There will be a pistol challenge, a rifle challenge, and a sniper rifle challenge. The details will be put out on social media closer to the event. We don't want y'all to train too hard because it's not going to be impossible to complete, but we still want to give you a little bit of a crunch if you are trying to practice. So come to the DEO ASC Saturday, July 5th for that.
Located at 13761 North Cleveland Avenue, North Fort Myers, Florida.
USA. USA. Yes, that will be a very fun time. Still going to be open Sunday, but the event will be on Saturday, July 5th, and we'll be closed July 4th. On detail to follow. Continue to keep up with social media for more details on
It
that.
it is amazing that somehow I became the straight man. I don't know how that happened.
There's nothing straight about you. The straightest thing about you is your hair. So, moving on. It's a little curly. Moving on. I just got a lot of Greg's Gone on here. It's very funny.
About a
Moving right into the month of August, we have Operation Stronghold by Tryhard. The illustrious Laz himself will be coordinating and hosting the Operation Stronghold event. I'm sitting next to one of the command elements for Green Team.
Indeed.
It's going to be happening in the old Immokalee prison, the Hendry County Prison that was decommissioned and is now the fun killing field South Floridians get to romp around and shoot each other in.
Absolutely.
Tickets are still live, $80. Can't beat that. Get them all you can. Tan versus green, green versus the losers. Check it out. It's going to be a fantastic time. I'm not biased. Follow Tryhard on Instagram and other social media
Quick shout
handles.
out to the Steed. He's on here. Good to see you, Alex. Thank you very
Ooh.
much. River City Ranger, what's going on, Riv? How you doing?
And what's up, Bryce? Moving
Yeah.
right along. Would you look at the month of September? There are things going on. We'll do this in November and call it a day.
Okay.
Operation Iron Knife in Barnwell, South Carolina, at the GTI training, or the Government Training Institute, an event hosted by Third Coast Airsoft, an alternative form of fun and slay with some play at the awesome sprawling AO that is the GTI AO.
I feel like we just talked about this
we
like maybe a week ago.
Yeah, if you want more details, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna throw everybody a bone here. Go follow Third Coast on their socials and watch our stream from last week
Yep.
for more details on
Find
that.
it on YouTube.
Thoroughly rinsed over YouTube. Check out the archive there. And we're going straight into Ba, 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 ba. Hold on, let me make sure. Yes, that's what I was looking for. Well, if it isn't the month of November, if it isn't Redacted 2 by Veterans for Airsoft, the illustrious Freddie Lux
That's what's
himself.
going on in November. Somebody asked me the other day what we had going on in November, and I couldn't
Well, now there's
remember
gonna be another event because you did that.
it.
It is at the, Mount Vernon Arsenal Armory and Hospital,
This is the one that everybody wanted to make it to and couldn't, so make it to this one.
Mobile,
Absolutely.
Alabama County. Check it out. Veterans for Airsoft is doing the coolest thing ever and utilizing the facility. Again, tickets are limited when they're released. If you're watching this in the past, sucks, you missed a great event.
Yep.
If you're watching this in the present, watch VFA for more details on that. They
Absolutely.
post in a
Absolutely.
very cordial and timely manner all the time. VFA knows what they're doing. Follow them for more details on that. That is November 14th to the 16th. And last and certainly not least, probably the most, Wasteland 17. Ha! Wasteland 17 by Mind Game Productions. We're talking the weekend before Thanksgiving, the 21st to the 23rd of November. LARP, Fallout, Post Apocalypse, Bottle Caps, Role Play, Wayne's World of Airsoft and Paintball. I'm going to just start throwing Airsoft in front of it, but that's not true. Follow Mind Game Productions on all social media handles for more details on that and any other upcoming events. Let's just punctuate it here and get the ball
All
rolling.
right. So we're gonna we might as well jump them in right quick here. Let's go ahead and get
There's so much milk and this is congesting me.
that's how we introduce him. Hey Gabe, how are you, buddy?
Hello, Mr.
Good.
Milk.
Hey,
There
how's it
we
going,
go.
guys?
Mr. Milk, really. That's it.
What,
Okay,
MK Airsoft, Milky Kid. What else could that stand for?
why don't we ask him?
Gabe, settle a bet.
Thank you for
Can,
coming on. Yep, thank you for coming on.
Yes, a pleasure to have you.
Gabe Schuster from MK Airsoft, the
Woo.
owner of four
Crazy.
Yep.
indoor airsoft arenas. You're going to tell us a little bit about, or a lot about all of that, I hope. So thanks for coming on. Before we get into the big one, I would tell us all about how you got started. Let's
you
just
guys
hear
hear
a
me
little bit
good?
about MK.
Hmm?
Can you guys hear me good?
Yep,
Oh,
we got
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Yep, we got you.
To start off with the bet, it's actually Master Key. So I have a YouTube channel that's not even like I don't have a ton of subscribers, but I've had it forever. Like if you look back, my first video was probably over 10 years ago. So I had this YouTube channel forever, and it's Master Key Airsoft. There's just like a name I came up with, and we ended up shortening it to MK. So that's what MK stands for, Master Key.
Okay. And now
My call
we're
sign,
What?
essentially.
What an interesting timeline. You went from a YouTube channel to 4 locations in 10 years,
So,
basically.
funny story too. Evike has multiple locations, but I actually talked to somebody that like works high up in Evike. They're actually all like part owner. So
mm-hmm.
most of them, a couple of them are actually no ownership at all. They actually just
Yeah,
take the Evike name. Essentially, they're like basically they're franchising without actually franchising. So they're like
yeah,
they upfront them a bunch of inventory and they help them out, and then they slowly back out of it. So it's just them. But the caveat, they have to only order from Evike like forever,
correct.
you know? So anyway, long story short, I think I'm actually the only person in the country that owns 4 fields as an individual owner. I don't think anybody else
Independent owner. Yep.
does. So,
Yeah.
how I got started was, this December will be 5 years we've been in business, which is crazy, 5 years already.
5 years, 4 arenas. Wow. Okay.
That's crazier than
Yep.
10 years.
I can't wait to see your OnlyFans.
Yeah, one day. But yeah, we started with one location and I had no real business plan. So I don't think a lot of people realize that too. Like if you rent a structure, I think some people think you still need a business plan. 9 times out of 10 you don't. Like if you go to buy a building and then you go to the bank and they're going to be like, "Hey, we need to see a real business plan." Of course, you're going to
Right.
need
Right.
one. You need an accountant and you need all kinds of numbers and you need a CPA to see, it's so funny. You actually have to be in business for 2 years now to get a small business loan. It's the most
Mm-hmm.
backwards thing. So you
Yep.
can't, because a lot of people think like, "Oh, I'm going to go to the bank and get a small business loan." It doesn't work like that unless
You
you've
also
been
need
in
a certain level
business.
of income, and
Yeah.
yeah, you're like, I need the loan to get the income." Yep.
And you have to have an LLC that's already been in business for 2 years. But anyway, so we started with essentially no business plan. We didn't really have any money. We were just like, me and my brother were like, "Yeah, we've been playing airsoft for 10 plus years. We kind of know what's fun and what's not. And we found this building in Medina, and it was for rent. Congrats. Thank you, Emma. Yep, we got the baby. I think she's sleeping right now in the room.
Aw,
Yeah,
that's
we have a
super awesome.
7-day old baby right now. So
Yep, congratulations.
Whoa, you got the
um
Lord's number, dang, that's awesome.
but we literally, so I tell people this all the time. It wasn't like we had a big financial backer that was like, oh, if we didn't do well, we would just keep paying rent. We literally had no money. So if we didn't do well the first 30 days, we had no way of paying our first month of rent. We didn't have, I think we ended up with like $800 like after we opened. So it was like, hopefully it does well. Um, but it did really well. And, we made our rent, and then it started doing better and better. And I think it was a year and a half in, it was almost 2 years. And we were like, hey, have a high demand for this location. Like, we're selling out almost all the time. So we started looking into other locations. It was super aggressive. May not have been the smartest thing, but we opened two within 6 months of each other. Um, so, and then,
Still aggressive, yep.
and that was the second one was Middletown, which is like near Cincinnati, between Cincinnati and Dayton. The first one was Medina, which, for those of you not from Ohio, that's like near Cleveland.
Mhm.
And the third one we opened is Willard, which is kind of by Sandusky. That's probably the biggest one there.
So let me jump in here. For those of you that don't know, he that's 3 on 3 opposite parts of Ohio, by the way. You're
Yeah,
basically,
three corners.
almost as far north as you can go with the Sandusky one, northeast-ish
Mhm.
with the Medina, and then you're all the way down by Cincinnati. So, you kinda spread yourself out pretty well there.
Yeah, and then so West Virginia was definitely it was just a deal of the century. I had no intention of opening another one, but I tell my fiance all the time. I was like, in 10 years, because I have 10-year leases. Well, I have 5-year leases with 5-year re-ups.
Mhm.
So essentially, if one of them doesn't do well after 5 years, I could close it. But obviously, Medina's doing well, and we're getting ready to re-up for our next 5. But I told her, I said, in 10 years, I'm not going to own anything, because 100% all my landlords are going to outrent me from the facilities I'm at. They're going
Sure,
to
yeah.
triple, because I don't have any agreements past 10 years. So I was like, I really want to buy a building so that I own something, besides inventory. Like, obviously, I own quite a bit of inventory because I have 3 stores and they all have a decent selection. And I was just like on, it's not LoopNet. LoopNet's for houses. What's the one for commercial?
Well, there's Crexy, there's,
Oh, no, it is LoopNet. I'm sorry. Yeah,
yeah, LoopNet does, yeah.
Zillow's for houses. Yeah, LoopNet is where I found it. And I saw it was sitting on the market for 3 years. It was a 72,000 square foot building, and they were only asking 900,000. And I was like, that's crazy. Like, 900,000 is really cheap for a building that big. It
Okay.
has 40-foot ceilings,
Jeez.
and so I had no money, but I was like, this is a crazy deal. So I was like watching all these YouTube videos about seller finance. And it's like one of those things that, like, you see people doing things in the real world and you're like, that's probably not actually how it works. But this guy is like, oh, you could buy a $5 million building with no money down. I'm like, that's not how it works. But anyway, it actually did work like that. So the only thing I ended up putting down was $5,000 for the entire sale. And that was because I needed the escrow money, which is like the good faith. You got to put
Yeah,
money down to
yep,
start the transaction. And the owner ended up putting up $400,000 of his money as a loan because we needed 20% down to the bank, and then we needed 200,000 to build it out. Because I was like, lumber's like probably 120, 30. Just the air compressor station is $10,000. Then
mhm,
I
yep,
think we bought 40,000 of inventory. We had 20,000 go into the sprinkler system. The alarm system had to be torn out, which is something I did not budget for, which is really expensive, by the way. It's like one of those things
and
you
you
don't
and I
think
talked
about.
about that one, yeah.
Yeah, it's $20,000 to get a new alarm system,
Yep,
which is
Oh my
just the
god.
little horn strobes that flash and the wires and then the main brain, and that's it. It
yep,
has nothing. There's no plumbing. It's just literally wires and little boxes, and to get a
yep,
whole alarm system is $20,000 for that building. But it's what tells the fire department that there's a fire going off. It's like the one thing that sends a signal. It detects fire and smoke, and there's heat detectors. But anyway, his only caveat, he said, "Hey, I'll loan you 400,000, but I'm changing the price to 1,000,000, which is up by 100,000." And I was like, "It's going to 100,000, or it's going up 100,000, which is a lot of money." But I saw that 2 years ago it appraised for 1.6, and nothing happened in the last 2 years. It was sitting empty. So I'm like, if it appraises for 1.6, it's definitely worth 1,000,000.
Right. By the
So
time
anyway,
you finish paying him off, it's worth more now, and yeah.
yeah, and so anyway, we took him up on the deal, and we kind of we blew through that 200 in 30 days, which was crazy. I was like, 200,000 is more money than I've ever seen in my life. I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be plenty. Yeah, we literally went through every single dollar in 30 days of like gaining access to that building.
Jeez.
And it wasn't like I went out and bought a Ferrari. Like, it was lumber and airsoft
Yeah.
stuff
No,
for the
You
oh,
building.
sadly opened a pack of ramen like, "We're gonna be so successful, guys."
Yeah.
Just
Oh, I was living on microwave food the whole I was there. I think I stayed there for like 3 months. I slept at the field. I had a
Oh,
little room in the back because it's in West Virginia, so it's
yeah.
almost 4 hours from me. It's not like it's around the corner from my house. I'm not gonna drive back and forth every day to work on it. Um, but anyway, we had awesome inspection. It was the easiest one I ever opened. The inspector came in, and we did everything to code for Ohio because we've opened 3 in Ohio, and all we know is Ohio code. Like, me and my brother, we know, like, they require certain number of emergency lights. The exit doors, for example, have to be 36 inches. They have to have push bars. You know,
Yep.
they have to have
Yep.
a push bar. It can't be like a handle. So, like, certain things we can update before they even come in because we know what they're going to look for. And then, of course, we come to find out West Virginia is, like, not even close to as strict as Ohio. They were there
Like,
for like,
whatever.
yeah, they were there for like an hour and 5 minutes, and they were like, sign the paperwork, handed us, and I was like, "Wait, that's it?" And they're like, "Yeah,
West
we're done."
Virginia is happy you stopped at a gas station and bought snacks because
I
there's
think so.
tax. Yeah.
And it's funny too because if you look at the math, like, Ohio has 12 million people in it. West Virginia only has 1 point, I think 1.8 million. So it's like n not even a third, not even a fourth of the population. But right now, it's my second performing store. So it goes
Wow.
Medina, West Virginia, and then the other 2. Because it's like, it's so crazy. Like, you would think like, okay, there's more people, there's this, there's less people, but also it's like, it's West Virginia. There's nothing to do for young teens. So it's like this good place that they can go and have a good time and be safe. And, I tell people all the time, we are the cheapest babysitters you can find.
Yep.
I was like, you can drop off your 13-year-old son and we'll watch them for 8 hours for only $35.
And for all you parents out there, it's roughly the same amount of money if your child was addicted to drugs. So just do this instead.
Yeah. And they're getting physical exercise, they're making friends,
Yeah.
you know, they're toughening up a little bit. This generation's too soft. I say it all the time.
Yep.
Soft kids.
Greg. Yep.
Nope, I'm 100%.
this
I don't
generation's
but
so
listen,
soft.
I don't anybody comes playing the outdoor field or at the indoor, they all know I'm not easy on that. If you're walking around complaining about something, go just shut up and go play.
Yeah, I saw
Shut up and go
Greg once
play.
go, "Oh, you don't like that? Go take a lap, champ." And he made him run.
Look, fatty, shut your mouth. Um,
But but yeah, it's been going good so far.
Ew. Don't touch me. Know your place. No, I'm
that's
kidding.
fit. No, so that's fantastic. So
That's crazy. That's actually nuts. You put $5,000
we
down
got
on $1,000,000.
On a
we
million
got
dollar bill. And now I own it. Like, and I didn't have anybody co-sign.
You can
I didn't have
literally
anybody else on the loan. Like, it was just me.
Sorry, Gabe. I was yelling at Greg for being an old
so
man leaving notifications on
that
his
that
computer.
notification you can't turn off. That's actually a base notification.
You
So
can
shut your mouth. So you got the first one a year later, another
Year and a half.
6 months later, year and a half, 6 months later, another one, and then
So
you decide, I'm going to go all the way to West Virginia,
yeah. Well,
and
so
open up the third largest. Is that what it is?
it's second largest in the country. Yeah. The
Second
only
largest in the
person
country.
that beats me is GamePod. And GamePod's 120,000, but I'm 72,000.
72,000. And
But yeah, if you look at
what?
the pictures, I mean, it's absolutely massive. It's such a big field. We don't even use the whole field most of the time. I actually built it so it breaks up into 3 different fields.
Oh
One
wow.
field, I think one field's like 16,000, one is 22,000, and then the big one is 26,000. But
Ours is
like
somewhere between the first and the second one.
I had to make like, I think, 12 different spawns. It's the most spawns I've ever had to make
Oh
because
my
each
god.
each field has its 4 spawns. So that way you can do
Mm.
these 2 or these 2. So it was really complicated. And then writing the games was actually the hardest thing I've ever done because I had to write each game mode 3 times. So each game mode
Oh,
can be played on 1 field, 2 fields, or all 3 fields.
okay.
So it was complicated, but it really works out nice because if we have 10 people there, like 10 people are not going to play on 70,000. Like, you know what I mean? Like, for example, we're open on Tuesdays and it's a slower day. It's like, all right, you got 5-on-5, or it's just earlier in the day. It's like, cool, we're going to play on the 16,000 square feet, where you still get a good amount of action, even though it's 5-on-5. So it is really nice being able to have that like ability to just play one field versus the whole, the whole thing.
We don't really have that problem. Not yet, at least.
How's yours going? I feel like I haven't talked to you about the indoor.
So you are,
What?
Why are you
we're
nervous? What the heck? It's going fine, and it's
It
nice.
is, it is. We're
Good Lord, man.
we are we've exponentially increased our progress over the past 2 weeks.
Okay.
We
Good.
got rid of we had the GC we had, and the engineer took over 4 months to turn over the plans. Yeah, yeah.
We hit a bunch of roadblocks that weren't our fault, and it screwed us, and we're catching up now.
Yeah. He was thousands of dollars over his highest quote. The engineer was, and over 4 months late with just the plans. So, yeah, we ran into some
Catastrophic roadblocks.
yeah.
So
But-
I can say this now because I already have my occupancy permits. So if somebody like clips
yeah,
this, I can't get in trouble. I don't really care. But 3 of my buildings, we randomly met this building inspector that was 2 years out from retiring, and he just signed all of our paperwork. So my
Oh
Well,
my
my
god!
well, we
brother
found
my
out.
brother has AutoCAD, so he draws it to scale. Like it has real numbers. It looks good to what they want to see. They want to see like
Mm,
the most important things. They want to know how far is it to an emergency exit from any one spot on the field.
uh-huh,
They want to. So, for example, Ohio, you have to be able to get to emergency exits with under 250 feet.
yep,
West Virginia, it actually goes to 300, which was nice because our building was so much bigger, so it still worked out.
sure.
And then we had to do 3 separate plans. One is where the fire extinguisher is located. One was just the building with none of our structures on it. So just the actual physical outline of the building, where's the street, and then where's the main exits. One with all of our structures, which is like a maze. I'm surprised they wanted that one. There's just little corners and walls and doors. And then the last one is usually the emergency lights. They want to see where your emergency lights are at in relevance to the rest of the buildings. So, but anyway, we got really lucky, and I said nobody can get me in trouble for that now. So I don't care.
Well, the irony for us was that we looked at everything, and both of these were occupied prior to us taking it
Mhm.
over. So we thought we'd be okay with, especially with what we were getting ready to do. We weren't getting rid of any load bearing walls,
What was
and
not to
what's that?
interrupt not to interrupt you? What was in there before you moved in? Do you remember?
So one side was a church, and the
Church.
other side was a Hope Hospice, which was some offices up front and then a warehouse in back.
Yep.
So anything we were taking down, nothing was load bearing,
Hmm.
and anything we were putting up was all non-permanent. So I'm like, I don't think we need a permit. I don't think we need a permit. And we talked to the GC. He's like, no, you need a permit. Need a permit. Need a permit. Like, all right, well, whatever we got to do, let's get the permit. Whatever we got to do. We fire the GC. Get rid of the engineer and all that. We keep the plans. Everything's in our name. They're already paid for and all that. GC comes in. He's like, okay, cool. We'll get you squared away. He goes, by the way, did you know you didn't need a permit for this?
What? A permit for what? Everything?
we for anything that we were doing, we didn't need a permit for. So the
What
VR,
did you need a permit for?
the,
Anything?
we technically we didn't need now that we opened the permit, now we have to complete the work and close
What?
the
So why
permit.
why would he say that? I don't understand.
No, why did our old GC say it?
Oh, the new one. I'm
The
sorry. I
new
was
one, yeah, the new one told us we didn't need it. The old one said we did.
wrong.
But
So he's trying to get money from you guys?
I
We got scammed. Yes.
So I will say in Ohio, and I don't know what the rules are in Florida, but you need an occupancy permit if you are changing the usage. So for example, what you're doing is definitely a change because
yes,
you're going from like a church to entertainment. Um, so for example, if I went into a place that was an amusement park or it was an arcade center, and I put
That would
airsoft
be
in,
so sick.
I don't have to change it because arcades is under entertainment, airsoft is under entertainment. Versus if I go in and it was a grocery store, completely different. All the
Mhm.
rules are different. The sprinkler patterns are different. Um, you have to start basically all over, and you have to get the permits and file for an occupancy, and they're going to come in and inspect everything. But if you're not changing the usage, like if you go into a bowling alley and then you come and you put another bowling alley in, you don't need
Uh-huh.
a occupancy permit for that. I don't know how it is in Florida. That's how it is in Ohio.
Yeah,
But
it was it basically he just came to he's like, "Yeah, no, we're gonna we'll finish out the permit, we'll do everything." Like, but by opening the permit and changing things, one of the things we found out we needed was, a water fountain. We need a water
you're
fountain.
required to have a water
I'm
fountain.
required to have a public water fountain, and I called the reviewer, I'm like, "Hey, this was a public church before, which had more people at any given time than I will ever have in here at any given time."
Hmm.
And I said, "They didn't have a water fountain." And he goes, "Yeah, well, that's different though. You need one." I'm like, I also sell bottled water, so
Hmm.
that will affect my sales as well. And not that I necessarily care about that piece, but
Hmm.
why is it then that I need it?" He goes, "It's just part of the regulate." I'm like, "This is," and I looked it up. Yep, you have to have it, and I'm lucky that it's positioned right where it is because it has to be within 500 feet of any other water fountain. So where we're putting it, there is not any 500-foot direct shot where there wouldn't be some other means of getting out and going getting your own water.
I'm
But
That's
I'm
so
so weird.
convinced from this that Florida permits go as following. Hope you don't get caught. That's how I feel.
it,
Like there were two different businesses in here, and they had what is essentially Play-Doh on Lincoln Logs, and then we try to do like a mom and pop, and they're like, "You literally need to build a helicopter. You need a rocket.
it
You need to build a Tesla." It's like,
it's been a ride. It's been a ride,
yeah.
and I wish I had talked. I can't say I wish I knew. I know a lot more. Like, just I mean, especially after the conversation, you and I talked for what, like an hour and a half.
Yeah, a couple. Yep. Twice.
I learned a lot more from then. I definitely know a lot more now. The next one that we do, I mean, it's like, I mean, you now know, you're on number 4, probably
Yep.
got 6 more to go. Um, and it's just now you're just kind of banging them out now. You know what the minimum level for you to do is, and obviously the minimum level got you to easily clear the West Virginia one.
Mhm. Yeah,
And
super,
so
super easy.
yeah, so learn you. This was definitely the learning process. How big is Medina? Uh,
Medina's 33. So one
33.
one thing I will say too, it definitely, and this is something that nobody, I don't think too many people know. I think 2 hours, depending on population, like obviously Florida is in a whole different ball game because you have guys have crazy high population. But in Ohio, I think an hour and a half is the bare minimum that you wanna be. Because when I opened Willard, it's 1 hour away from Medina, and
Mhm.
I'm competing with myself. So it's not like gas stations where you can have 3 on 1 corner and everybody's gonna make money.
Right,
Like in
right.
airsoft,
Yeah.
I love Willard, and I'm not gonna close it because it's just an awesome field, but in retrospect, I'll never open another one that close to another location. It's just
Mhm.
an hour is too close to one field. You can't pull enough players in that general area. So West
Yeah.
Virginia, I'm the only indoor field in the entire state. So it's like, yeah, there's only 1.8 million people, but I'm the only one in like a
Mhm.
6-hour radius. Ohio, like for example, we have 7. I
Holy
own
cow.
I own 3 of the 7. Um, but it's like, if I ever did open another one, I tell people I have 0 interest in doing one. But if I ever did, it'd probably be Kentucky because Kentucky has 0 indoor fields in the whole
Mhm.
state. So opening one there, you'd probably just make a killing because
You'd be
there's nothing,
competing
there's not one
with
there. Also,
Tennessee at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kentucky has 5 million people too. So, plenty of people and no indoor. I think a couple outdoor, but 0 indoor in that state. And
That's
Yeah,
about two and
Indiana
a half
has
more
2.
million people than I thought they
yeah.
had, Gabe.
Yeah, we
Well, 'cause even West Virginia, you're like, it sounds like a terrible business idea. Because 'cause I'm like, I own $1 million building in, like, somewhat of a declining population state, but it's doing almost as good as my top performing store, so it's
and let me
crazy.
let me chime in here real quick. Anybody that heard him say he owns a $1 million building, hopefully you didn't miss the that he only had $5,000 to put down on that $1 million building. So it's
I I think
Gabe
people too are like,
is
"Oh, Gabe's
not
so rich," and I'm like, "Dude,
swimming in Scrooge McDuck money.
So
yeah,
there's
I'm like,
he had a
I literally
private
bought it with
construction
nothing."
company dig a canal so his yacht could go to the bank to get the money. No.
Yeah. No. Let's clear that up. Can money be made in airsoft? Yes. Are
Very
you if your last
small amount.
name isn't Evic, are you gonna make millions and millions and millions of dollars? Probably not.
So
Um,
I'm gonna say something that I'm not supposed to, and I think it's gonna be really funny because I don't know. I feel like everything over time is public knowledge. So it's like if somebody really wanted to find out, like they probably could find out. I found this out like a month ago. The Game Pod, largest indoor field in the country, right?
uh,
He's like losing like $60,000 a month.
a month.
A month, but he
Oh
can
my god.
afford it because it's backed by Evike. But I was talking to somebody, and they're like somebody that was invested financially. I don't know how they knew, um, but he told me that it's in such a bad location, and the building is honestly too big, and they just don't have enough player base there. And their mortgage on it's probably
Oh
forty
god.
thousand
Yeah.
dollars a month or something crazy. So, but
Mhm.
anyway, I
Wow,
thought that
wow,
was
wow.
Yeah.
fascinating. Just to be the biggest doesn't mean you're making the most money. Like
Right. No,
I
no.
think
Sounds
Miami
like number
Airsoft
2 could become
is
number 1 if, the financial winds don't blow in a certain direction for
yeah.
someone else.
But anyway, I think that's funny too because it's like just because you're the biggest doesn't mean you're making the most money. Like 9 times out of 10, profitability. I give a little tip here for anybody that wants to open an airsoft field. I help you out. 90% of it's the store. Not it's not 90. It's probably 60-40 though. I
Yeah.
always assumed it was the other way around. Now I have 4 of them, so I have like real data.
Mhm.
60% of our money comes from that little 20-foot by 20-foot store, and
Mhm.
40% comes from the ticket sales.
That's
So it's like
sassy. Mhm.
No. I'm agreeing with him.
you want to as much as I
Here's what
hate
we
it,
do.
you wanna invest and have a really nice store, like,
Yeah.
carrying as much possible inventory and just really going all out. It's like that's where the money is, new players coming in, they're gonna buy a gun, a vest, a mask, whereas your regulars, which are fantastic, they come every week, but all they're doing is buying an admission. They might even buy their BBs on Amazon just because they can. So it's the new players that really kinda help keep you above water.
For sure.
So
We knew, when Yordi and I talked about opening and we all talked about it. I knew that right now because we're doing what we call rubble games.
mhm,
We're not charging our full amount. Everybody's aware that it's going to go up, but even at $35 a game, or $35 a session per person, I knew that wasn't going to cover the lease.
yeah,
We needed to have other things that offset. So it was a big deal for us to make sure that we had I wanted to have a large retail space.
yep,
Really? Really?
Oh, my hip is hurting
Really?
now. Hey, I
Look
just
rude.
at
got all the
you.
information for Alex.
Okay, perfect timing. Um, so we made sure that we built out a 2,000 square foot retail
That's a
space.
big store. Yeah, that's re
Right,
that's
and
really
that was
nice.
important for us. I wanted people to be able to come in. The whole principle, and you and I talked about it, the whole purpose for me opening the store was I wanted to give back. I wanted people to not go through necessarily what myself and Dom, my son, went through when we first got in, which was buying stuff online and it shows up and it's junk. You couldn't touch it. You didn't know what was happening until you got it. I want people to be able to come in here, get good information, touch and feel, look at everything, and go, okay, that's a good deal. That's the one I want, and turn around and go right over to the arena and play.
So I will say, and I don't know if it's everywhere, but Amazon is getting slower and slower right now. And it's
It-
helping me because, for example, I didn't know this, but in West Virginia, like where my building's at, they don't even have next day. It's not even optional. You can't even pay for it. So I think that's why that store is doing so well because I
oh,
have
sure.
I have a huge shop and everything, I don't say everything, but 60% of it's all from Evike. So it's like you can walk in, buy a gun that you'd normally have to wait 2 weeks for,
Hmm.
and maybe you could find on Amazon, probably not. You're gonna still end up paying more, and you're gonna wait like 5 days now.
Yep.
Because before it was like, oh, Amazon, I can get it tonight. Not in West Virginia, you can't.
I've noticed that too. Amazon reprioritized what is and isn't next day now.
Oh,
So
really?
like there's a lot of items that like for example, a lot of items now you have to wait a week for if you get it on Amazon. But then like consumable things like for example, Crest white strips are still 1 day. Like just like the weirdest things are 1 day now, but
Depends what they
they
have in stock, probably. I don't know. I could be wrong.
I don't know either, but I've seen what you're talking about. A lot of stuff isn't next day anymore,
Yeah, they've been
especially like
changing it.
military and airsoft and paintball gear. It's all just slowly
Yep.
like 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 1 week.
Well, you've heard me say this. I tell most of the people that come in, if they're first timers, I tell them, one of the first things I say is, you don't ever have to buy from us. I'm not trying to force you to buy from us, but the only thing I do ask is you don't buy a gun, the airsoft gun, from Amazon. And they look, and most of them think I'm talking because I don't want them to support like big box or something.
Mhm,
No, Amazon warehouses their stuff, and it
mhm.
sits in a 130-degree warehouse, and the seals and the O-rings and everything like that just sit and rot and they go bad. And then you come in, you're jaded, you see I got the same gun on the wall that you just bought from Amazon, and you think it's garbage. No, it's not garbage. You just bought it from a garbage place that didn't take care of it. So I tell them, but if you find something you like, give us a call. Information's free. We'll talk to you. Okay, that's a good idea. That's a good gun, good price, good. Or nope, don't buy that one. That's terrible. We've tested it out and it doesn't shoot well, what have you. And we find that having those conversations keeps them in house. Yeah, that's
Nice.
we're lucky and blessed to have a great community here. We've tried to develop it as well as we can, but we have a great community here.
What's
I I,
your
I mean, you got to have a huge following, I imagine.
we're definitely getting there. TikTok, we're up to like 30,000, which is pretty good. I think that's our highest account across anything. Um, it's still really, I mean, anybody in airsoft knows it's so hard to get followers because Facebook's just so anti-airsoft.
Yeah.
Instagram
I
and Discord is it for us. That's where we get the most engagement, the
Oh yeah.
most effective advertising.
you
TikTok's
guys
like,
do it.
huh?
You guys do advertising on Discord. It's interesting. I
So
didn't know.
we'll post events and like we'll communicate to the most active people in our community are on Discord. I think out of the number of people in our Discord, about a fourth or fifth of them are like they're online
Hmm.
at any given time of the day.
Yeah.
So when we put anything out there, there's a conversation. I see it, people like it. So we have our most active community members in our Discord that will see and then disseminate information down to
Yeah.
people they know, which is great. And then Instagram, I think Instagram is the best way we get new eyes and interactions. Facebook is so bizarre. I don't understand it anymore. It's like here's like a FPV drone of a Russian exploding, but is that a gun with an orange tip? You're going to jail, dude.
Right.
You're going
Yeah.
to
It's
bad
yeah.
boy place.
I
It
I
it
actually
makes no sense.
I just got my ad privileges back. I think 6 months ago,
Oh
and
my
it was super random. I didn't have ad privileges for 4 years. They
Oh,
removed it completely, and then all of a sudden they gave it back to me. So I've been running paid ads, which is why anybody that's followed my content, you can see I've been putting out more video style promo stuff, and
yeah.
that's for the sole sake that I can actually put money against stuff now. I mean, I should have been making them all along, but it's like you feel better when you know you can get at least more than 1,000 views on a video because you're like, all right, you don't want to spend all this time, a week, 4 days, 5 days making a video, and then like, oh, it's got 10 views. You're like, dang
Well,
it.
what's
Yeah.
funny? We'll if we're at an event, myself, Mini Dom and Skit, shout out to them, media team. We'll make like a throwaway piece of content,
Hmm.
get like over 100 likes and a bunch of followers from nothing.
Yeah.
And then those from like just literally nothing. Just like one Mini Dom tackled me, and all I said was go to DEO.com, and he tackled me. 100 likes, bunch of followers, tons of interactions. They became followers. Just the weirdest videos get you the followers on
Yeah.
Instagram, and
Super
then you
weird.
can communicate to them from there, and they'll show up to the shop like, "Oh, I saw you were at an event, and I follow you on Instagram, and I saw you're at." It's so bizarre. TikTok, I don't know. Like, do you have? This is a hard number to get data on. Do you know how many people that follow you on TikTok walk into your store? That's a weird one. Like, it can't be
No,
a lot, right?
no, I
Yeah.
have no clue. Not even a zero, which sucks because you're right. My entire demographic could be in California that follows me on TikTok. I don't know.
That's the thing, right? On TikTok, I have like I'm not nearly as successful as you. I have like 7,200 followers. Most of them are in the Midwest. That doesn't do a thing for me. A thing for me. But
Yeah.
I still have 7,200 followers. They're not doing anything for me ever.
It's funny, Facebook actually does the best for me. Like, I don't know why my Instagram does okay, like,
You know what? You know
but you can
why
run the
Facebook does the
same.
best for you? I have an answer for you on this.
Why is that?
Parents. All parents are on Facebook still.
But why doesn't it work for you guys? That's what I'm curious. Like, because do you put out the same content on Instagram as Facebook? Like,
Oh no, it does work for us
Yeah.
on Facebook.
oh, oh, oh.
Actually, so the
But you said
kids,
Instagram's better.
it's let me explain. So Instagram, Facebook is great for the parents that bring their kids for daycare.
Mhm,
Instagram is better to get new followers and to give them posts and information on events.
mhm.
So Instagram is great for communicating to the people that start following you when you're doing things, and Facebook's good to get your rentals in, your parents with kids in. That's what Facebook's good for. Um, Discord's good for your dedicated hardcore players. So it's
I will say the hardest
Instagram,
thing
I
for me is
think.
YouTube.
What was that,
I said the hardest thing for me is definitely YouTube. I don't get shit on YouTube.
dude?
I try, but I don't get
Yeah.
nothing.
YouTube is, unless you're,
YouTube's
like,
hard.
into, like, drama, I don't know how anybody gets anything on YouTube. But, yeah, it's, like, it's nice, like, or it's weird, I should say, like, Discord, yeah, great for, like, the people that always wanna be here, and they're super committed, and they're always paying for admission, but they're not the people in the store. Facebook's good to get the rental kids, the parents that wanna take their kids somewhere new. We got a bunch of grandmothers in, believe it or not, once from Facebook. They're like, "We just saw you on the Facebook."
So I didn't want to be mean and like post a picture of them, so I didn't. I mean, I could have asked them and it probably would have been fine. But it was just 2 months ago. It was actually West Virginia. I saw two ladies come in and play. Both had to be over 60. And they didn't come with kids, and they didn't come with kids, and I was like, "No
Oh,
way." And they had fun. I went over and was like, "Hey, how's it going? Like, you guys having a good time?" And they're like, "Oh, yeah, we're having so much fun." I was like, "Dude, that is amazing. I've never seen
which store
somebody
was
like."
this?
West Virginia, just I swear, 2 ladies with no kids, no husbands, they came in together, and they had to be over 60, had to be, and they just had a great time.
Oh my god,
I
what
was
if
like,
they were, like,
"This is
doomsday
nuts."
preppers or something? What if they were, yeah,
In 5 years of having fields, I've never seen that happen before.
I've never
We
heard
have
of that, that's
dads
amazing.
play, occasionally a real older gentleman, but very rarely. But older women, very, very rare. So that was cool to see that. It was definitely cool.
That's awesome. That's actually really cool. I'm envious. I'm not jealous, I'm envious. That to get, like, grandmothers like, "This one's for my grandchildren," and they just
No, I will
So
say, I don't know how much you guys have seen, but in the last year, I've seen more women coming into airsoft than I've seen in like 20 years. Like regular days, we're having like 5, 6 girls in the teenage range coming and playing, and I'm like, that's crazy.
we definitely see
Usually
them
it's
come
like
in
one.
and
Now it's
try
like
them
the
out, yeah.
numbers are growing, and they're regulars. Like they're actually coming in. They have their own gear because it's like before it's like, yeah, one girl's gonna come with her boyfriend because her boyfriend plays, and she's gonna hang out, sit at the table. But I'm talking like
Right, dude.
5 girls are coming in with their own gear, like in the teenage range, coming in and playing, and that's just like it's just new, it's different, and I'm happy. It's
In
a whole
the,
demographic of people that we're not capturing. It's like,
yeah,
all right, let's get those
in
people in here.
Southeast Florida, there's a shocking amount of female players, like, a lot, and they're, like, HPA setups, competitive high kappa setups, some even milsim players, and even when we go to, like, TCA events, I bless Sal, I do a lot of OPT4 when we go to TCA events, and at the tier 1s, you'll get, like, a handful of girls now, not with their boyfriends, showing up like, "Yeah, I'm here for the tier 1." I'm like, "Really? Really?" Like, it's awesome, it's
More
great.
power to
Our,
you.
shout out to Emma, our, photographer. She was an EXO at an event in New York. Like, it's, "Come on, ladies, come on," you know?
So at the West Virginia, did you keep the same rules that you have at the others? Same MEDs, same
Yeah,
dual
same
limits, things
same
like
feet per
that?
second. I know some people are like, "Oh, you should make it 400." I'm like, "Dude, I played 400 indoor. I did it maybe twice, and it was
Mhm.
terrible. I'm never doing that again."
Are so you base it on FPS or joules?
Both. Well,
Okay.
FPS is for AEGs, Joules is for HPA. I mean, you
Smart.
can do the conversions, but we do all HPA. We chrono with a 3.0, which we do
Mhm.
that because the most heaviest BB we allow is a 3.0. And then we chrono AEGs with a 2.0. So AEGs have to be at 360 or less. HPAs have to be at 1.2 or under.
Yep.
So our example, our rules, I tell everybody, um, basically it cannot be at 1.2. It has to be under. And there's zero reason that any HPA should be at 1.2 because they're adjustable.
Right.
Now, electric guns, I tell all my staffs, they do a 5 to 7 variance. So if you're shooting 364, 365, like we're not going to make you cut your gun open for 4 FPS.
Mhm.
As soon as you hit 368, 369, that's where it's like, hey, that's too hot. You're
Yeah.
high enough over. But so we do a slight variance for AGs, 0 variance for HPA. They have to be under that set
completely
number.
adjustable. There's no reason.
And
Yeah.
and semi-auto only, correct?
Yeah, no
Yeah.
binary. It's so funny. I've been playing so long now. Like I actually can hear binary versus like a speed trick.
Oh,
I
yeah.
just know what it. I think I've caught like 3 people in the last like 2 or 3 years. It's not. We don't get a lot of people trying to do it. But it's so funny too because they'll be like, "Oh, I don't know how that happened." Like, dude, stop it. You have to program binary. You can't accidentally put it in your gun.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
Well,
stop it right now.
Mister, put a bunch of effort into their gun. You're telling me you're shocked you did this?
Yeah. Like, oh, I don't know how binary works. Yes, you do.
Yeah,
You
Yeah.
did this on purpose.
I don't know how to walk or breathe
So
either. Yeah.
now you've got the new baby at home. You've got the 4 arenas. You've got everything going on. When's the next time we're gonna see you?
Yeah. Cool guy.
Where you
So I'm
playing?
actually, I know it's been, so we had 2 events. Well, I couldn't go to the last 2, but my team had 2 events planned and they both got canceled. One was a local Ohio event at a Mercer Field, and then one was the line, not the, or yeah, we had one get canceled last year, was Line Claws, and then they were going to go to the Mere Butler, and that got canceled. So I think we're just, I hate to use the R word. I think we are in a small recession, or there's just too many event organizers, and they're splitting up the player base too much. Because it seems like every day somebody else is popping up. But the problem is, it's killing the overall numbers, so people are ending up canceling. To answer your question, I'm going to the prison in July with Mir. There's actually 10 of us going, which is pretty crazy because usually we only get like maybe 5 or 6 guys. After that, we're definitely going to what's the one in December with Third Coast?
In December?
Oh, you're talking about Serious Viking?
Yeah, we're going to Serious Viking,
Yeah.
and we'll probably go to a couple in between that. But
And
that's
the
it for
Mere
right now.
Mall event you're talking about, or the prison event, you're talking about the one
Prison.
in
I
Midwest?
wanted to do the mall, but it's a week after, and I'm like, there's no chance I can swing 2 events. In
Just
Right.
cancel the prison one and go to the mall. You
We
know
already,
the
we already
mall.
got 10. We already got 10 guys going to that, and it actually has good numbers too. He has over 200 players going. Because I'm like, dude, if there's like 100 people signed up, like that prison is huge. It would not be fun.
Yeah, that would
Right.
suck. That would suck.
But yeah, I think he definitely has over 200 people already signed up. So I'm like, it's gonna be a solid event. It's gonna be hot as shit, but so is the mall's gonna be super hot. Isn't that like in Louisiana or something? And it's
It's
in
gonna
July.
be, dude. Dude. Anything below the waist is gonna be like the Nolan Swamp, dude.
At
There's
least
gonna be
at least
alligators and crocodiles down there, dude. It's gonna be
at least
bad.
the prison game is in Pennsylvania, which is like pretty far north. So yeah, it's gonna be
Where
hot.
where is that in Pennsylvania?
Crescent. It's at the
The
Crescent.
Crescent. Oh, Crescent.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yep. We
Um,
said Butler before, and that's a town in
yeah,
Pennsylvania.
this is
That's the guy that
definitely
brings you all your juice and drinks. A butler.
Indeed. He's waiting outside.
this has
Oh.
definitely been the least active year I've had, just because West Virginia literally took 3 months of my time.
Sure.
I lived there, so I couldn't play. I couldn't go to Milsim's. I couldn't do anything. And then right after that, we got really close to the baby coming, and then it's just a lot of different things going on. I just hosted a mini Milsim at my Willard Field last week. It was pretty cool. And then
Nice.
this Saturday, we're actually doing a lock-in at my West Virginia field.
I saw that. I saw that on the website. Yeah.
I'll be down there for that. So anybody going to the lock-in, I'll be there.
Here's a
You haven't
random
been to
one.
West Virginia yet? You got to come down.
I gave what? Good. I was gonna give him.
Well, I was gonna say super. This is an alt sim. There's an event coordinator called Nuke Ohio, in your state that does a Fallout LARP, and I think it's airsoft. So if you're looking for an alt sim to go to find a baseline for what's good or not, or just to completely embarrass yourself like I do. I mean, I don't know if you can tell I love Fallout, but
Hey.
that's a fun one in your neck of the woods. Also, too, there's I think it's called Waste, a post-apocalypse LARP. That's another airsoft style.
Tell us more about your Fallout stuff.
It was started when I was a child. The doctor said autistic, and he
So
pushed me
you
out of the
have
hospital.
memberships. What kind of memberships can people get from you?
Wow.
So we do daily. We sell the most of our daily passes. So you can get like just a day pass for 35. We sell weekly passes for 50, which you can actually play 4 days because we're open Tuesdays, Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays. 2 of my other fields are open. One's Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and one's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then we do have the really expensive, crazy memberships that we just kind of put up there as like a. I'm not gonna lie, there is a what's the word? There's like a tactic to it, a reason where you have like one crazy expensive thing that nobody's gonna buy, and it sets everything else into standard. You're like, oh well, $35 is not a lot. So we have like a $1,000, a $2,000, and we have a $3,000 membership.
You
But it's
just
like,
explained airline tickets. Hilarious.
yeah, because it is. It's like, and we haven't sold a lot of them, and it doesn't hurt my feelings. It didn't cost us anything to build that membership program. It was free.
Sure.
We figured out, but the math on it actually does work. So like the $3,000 membership does actually save you like $2,000 a year.
Yeah.
Now it's based on you playing once a week at least, but then you get like 10% off of everything, which essentially is like almost our cost because we're only making 25%
Yeah,
on
Airsoft
stuff.
doesn't have a high markup
The
value.
margins
No.
are bad.
Yeah.
Make you
And
feel
then
bad.
you can also, it also is like you can bring a friend every single day you come. So it's like if you take $70 times 4 days a week, like just that times 52 weeks is like worth $2,800. And then you add in you get discounts on everything of 10%. So you buy a $300 gun, you get $30 off. You buy an EG, you buy a snack. So that one's a little hard to factor in, but I think we estimated like $1,500 a year as in savings. So it's like it's worth like $4,000, and it's like, yeah,
Yeah,
you know,
and if
we
definitely if
put
you're
it up
playing
there.
that
We
offer
didn't
for
expect to
sure.
sell a lot, but
Yeah. All right, we are at the end. You got give
The
us
end of
something.
Airsoft.
Yeah, give us something closing. What do you got in closing?
Yeah, check us out. We have 3 fields in Ohio, 1 in West Virginia. We are open 4 days a week. You can buy your tickets at mkairsoft.com, and it's just a lot of fun. If you're anti-indoor, give it a try. I love outdoor. I love indoor. I think they both have their place. I think everybody should try both and then make their own decision.
Are you? By the way, I forgot to ask you this. Are you CQB, Speed Soft, or somewhere in between?
I am Milsim fast. I call myself.
There you
I
go.
definitely
Okay.
I would lose at those tournaments, like where you have to. What's it called?
Preach,
Speak
brother,
QB.
preach. Yeah.
Where I literally don't even know the name. What's a Speak QB field with the walls and you have to get the
Like
flag in the middle? What do you call that?
Or
CSL, NXL. Yeah, Speed
There's an
Soft.
actual name for the
Yeah, Speed
tournaments. I don't
QB.
know what
Yep.
Speak QB.
Yeah.
Those I've never done, and I 100% would lose. I know I would.
Yeah.
I excel in indoor as far as moving tactically, but very fast. And dude, I have over 170 videos on my YouTube channel. So it's like somebody's like, "Oh, well, how do you like? What? Go watch my videos. You want to know?"
Subscribe. Subscribe.
But we do. We have tons of pictures, videos. We have lots of promo stuff. Because one thing I like to do that I feel like enough fields don't do is just drone footage. Because like you're going to travel far to a field, you really want to know what does it look like.
Sure.
You're like, I don't want to go 8 hours and look and play at this field, and then you get there and it's totally different than because you see a couple snapshots, a couple photos. You're like, I want to know how does it play. I want to see some real action. So we try to do a good job of just showing people, showcasing what the field actually entails. All of our social media is all MK Airsoft plus the name of the city for Facebook and Instagram. So we have MK Airsoft Medina, MK Airsoft Willard, MK Airsoft Middletown, and then MK Airsoft Clarksburg, which is the West Virginia. But you can find them all through that. The names are both the same on Instagram and Facebook.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for coming on.
Yeah,
Really do
thanks so much for having me
appreciate it.
on. I really appreciate it.
No, absolutely, of course. If you need anything, guys, if you need to contact him, you can find Gabe on Facebook,
I run all the
Instagram,
social media,
anywhere.
so
Yep,
if you send a
yep.
message, it goes right to me.
There you go. Or mkairsoft.com and send a message from contact us.
And
right
Gabe
there.
is always free. Please go into the shop and hassle him as much as possible.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'll answer your questions as best I can.
Yes.
All right. Thank you,
All right,
guys.
thanks, guys. Bye.
Thanks everybody for joining us. Guys, be good. We'll see you next time.